You made it. Welcome, my friend. This is a power yoga class starting standing. So find a great, comfortable, grounded stance. Cross yoga is yoga with a Christian perspective for everybody. And today we're gonna move and breathe, and I'll share a little of Christian faith and spirituality in the midst of everything. But find that stance and let's breathe. So feel the feet really grounding down into your mat. Soften your knees a little bit. And sense how your hip is well grounded as a foundation of your spine moving up towards the sky. Shoulders might be tucked slightly back. Palms facing forward. And soften your face as you continue to breathe. Before we move, I'll invite you to prayer or intention setting, whatever you want to call it. You can raise your arms out for me. This is a posture of gratitude. So maybe start by saying thank you. If you believe in God, to God, or being grateful for whatever you feel you need to be grateful for. Put it like ideas in your mind. Maybe you speak it out aloud as well. And then we can let go and surrender by folding forward. So soften your knees and fold forward, so much forward that your hands can reach down on the floor. So you might close your eyes, relax your neck. And you might sigh out if there's any specific topic that you want to let go of. So we surrender this practice and this movement on our mats. May it be great for you, your relationship with God if you have one. Now bring your arms out to the side and lift the left arm up. I'm mirroring you, and go for a side lift or a side stretch. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale. I like to use the Ujjayi breath, that snoring wave sound through the nose, exhaling. So as we move here, we're thinking more about movement and strengthening a little bit in our core than stretching. Just one more to each side. Back to center, finding chair pose, arms by your side. You keep standing where you are, but you move your arms behind you. Make sure your spine is not moving so you don't shoot your hip out. Stand up tall and open up your chest for a cactus, maybe a little bit of a back bend here. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, chair. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus. And move, maybe a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower. So whatever you do today, don't overdo it. Don't think that you have to do exactly what I am doing here. Please do your adjustments. You might go more into it. You might go less. Last one. All right, get those wrists moving. And then get yourself to the back end of the mat. So I will stand in this direction. Soften your knees. We're gonna walk to our plank. So I'm gonna fall forward and walk my hands almost like a monkey to the front of the mat, taking a plank. Always know your options of knees. And walk your hands back and find chair. Let's do that again as a warm up. Just breathe as you crawl to your plank. Navel in, straight spine and neck. And walk back. Soften your knees, find your chair, maybe a little bit deeper than the first time. Take a breath in plank. Great for the shoulders, all of this movement. Chair. And last one. And then downward facing dog. Move your hip, soften your elbows. And then we're gonna do kind of an awkward downward facing dog. So you're gonna move your feet, that can be to your left side. Both toes are in that direction. And then move your hip up in a kind of a side plank down dog. Hands stay. Go for the other direction. So I'm stacking my hips to some degree, getting a stretch on that part of the body that's up towards the sky. All right, bringing it back, coming down into tabletop. Shake those wrists a little bit. You can always come onto your fist if you have any wrist issues. I like switching it up sometimes. Navel in, so you have that flat tension and your spine flat. Lift the right leg up and back, toes are pointing down, and notice where that belly tends to go when you lift that leg up. Right leg, left arm. And now as knee and elbow meet, you bring the spine up and then into flat again as you extend hand and leg out. We use our exhale, knee, elbow, inhale, reach. Just two more. Plant everything down. Of course, opposite side. Left leg, point the toes down, stretch out that leg. Notice that your right knee and hip is aligned and stacked. And let's do it. Knee, elbow. Extend. Ujjayi breath. Surprisingly, a lot of balance here. Last one. And then get your knees down. We're gonna come down on our elbows, hands pointing forward. Get the knees off and find your plank. Hold that. Soften your knees. Then smile. The scripture that I have, I'm gonna read to you a little bit later, is about doing what other people need and not maybe compare ourselves so much with other people. So let go of that. If you have a certain shape that you feel like you need to get into because you want to look like somebody. One more breath. And then walk your knees in. We're going to stay on the knees again. So always welcome to fold the mat. I'm just going to do it to show. My knees love it as well. And then still on the elbows. I don't want to sway like this, my back, navel in flat tension. And then bring your right leg out. Toes can be tucked or toenails there. Left knee and hip aligned. Then lift the leg up again. Keep the spine straight. And then go for kind of a rainbow shape here, lifting up, moving from side to side. Getting into the glutes, both as a warm-up and as a strength. So a rainbow circle, half circle, lifting up. You might inhale as you lift up, exhale as you go down to each side. And don't drop out on the left foot. Long neck, long spine. Let's do 2 more. A little bit of Pilates inspiration here. And ground the knee down. You can shake the tail. Opposite. Left, check in with that tension in your belly, arms, head. You know what's going on. Don't look down like this, okay? Straight spine. Lift the leg up, point the toes or not. Leg out to the side, crossing over. Don't be too quick. Keep breathing. Keep stacking right knee and hip. And just breathe however it makes sense to you. Two more. Hope you feel this by now. Maybe a lot, depending on how much you're used to moving. Maybe not as much. Get your knees in and then child's pose for a breath or 2. Rising up, if you had a folded mat, get out of that. And then your downward facing dog. Gonna do a sequence here. Right leg up and back. And then bring the foot underneath yourself and to the top of the mat. High lunge. Arms up overhead. Bring the palms together on top of your head. Navel in and lean forward. Like a shooting arrow. Bring the hands into your chest in prayer pose. And extend it out again. Then rise up. Lean slightly back for a little bit of a back bend. And then forward again. Maybe you want to let go of those hands and bring them out. We're going to balance. So slowly lift the back leg up. I'm going to go into my tree here. And find a variation of Warrior 3. Repeating that, lower down. Same side. High lunge. Lean forward. Navel in. Bring the hands into chest. Prayer pose. And then extend the arms out. Reach up overhead. Maybe a back bend. Straighten the spine. Lean forward. Maybe you want to shorten the distance in between your feet. Warrior 3. Take it here, breath. Extend everything out. Lower down one last time. High lunge. I'm not cueing breath here because we might be out of breath. Lean forward. Push through the front heel. Your front leg should be felt. Your thigh. Extend it out. Reach up. Lean back if you want to. Straighten your spine. Lean forward. Slowly let go of the back foot. See if you can find that Warrior 3. Then bring both hands down on the floor. Go for an open hip. Your left leg, which should not have been used quite a lot, open that up and maybe do a little bit of circles or small pulsation lifts here with the left leg up in the air. Point the toe. Ooh, close the hip. Get into your chair pose at the top end of your mat. Catch your breath. Two more. Go deeper if you don't feel it by now in your thighs. Next, inhale, prepare to fold forward. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Plank to low plank. You can jump or walk back. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Catch your breath. Before we do the other side, you might want to get a little bit of cardio in, depending on how you're doing today. So you can do your plank and then slowly knee in. Or you can do a little bit of mountain climber to get the cardio going. Won't do it for too long. If your hands can't handle this, maybe just high knee. Or your wrist. Long spine. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down dog. Left leg up and back. And bring it to the front. High lunge. Maybe you want to shake the wrists. Whew. Palms together. If you're completely out of breath, just hold on a little bit, right? Lean forward. So you have that navel in. Bring your palms to your chest. Extend your arms out again. Keeping everything nice and hooked in by the hips here. Rise up. Maybe that back bend. Warrior 3. So slowly lean forward. And it's okay if you can't find the balance. Three more times. Lower down. Palms up. Lean forward. Hands to prayer. Move slow. Extend the arms out. Push through the front foot. Rise up. And lean back. Shoulders away from the ears. Balance. Kick the back leg up. Hip closed. Might feel your own hip here. One buttocks is not moved up super higher than the other one. Lower down when you're ready. Forward. Maybe not going as deep. Maybe going deeper. Extend. Reach up. Lean back. Warrior 3. Last time through. Whew. Reach the arms up. Lean forward. Come on with me here. You gotta be a little bit crazy to do stuff like this, but you know it's also really, really good for you. Reach your arms up. I feel my front leg. Woo. Lean back. Forward, lifting back leg. Both hands down and lift the right leg up, split. So this time, not a closed hip, open hip. And do maybe circles, because in my body that's hard. I can do lifts, but circles, another story. 3, 2, 1. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Shake your head. Then bring your, I'm gonna bring my left leg back, but whatever side makes sense compared to watching the screen for you. I'm gonna bring my toes slightly out. You can go wider, a little bit more narrow if maybe your pelvic floor needs a little bit more support. Coming down like this, again, a little bit of maybe cardio. Bring the arms up overhead, palms together, go for your right side. Lower down. Reach. Other side. If you want more, you can come down and do a jump and then lift up. So I bring myself down. From here, I jump, coming down again. And I'm not going for my most deep side bend. So, our bodies really love those most explosive movement here. Awesome. 2 more. You should be nice and warm by now. To the side. And then you can fold forward. I would let my feet drop in towards each other. Ooh. And do what you feel like is nice here. Lifting up again, moving the heels in one more time. Depending on the condition of your knees, I'm not going super deep. You might go deeper or less. Skater for one side here. Sit down, lift up. Other side, if you can't balance, you can always bring the hands down. And move from side to side. I promise you, we're gonna stretch the thighs. So I always let the knee and the toes reach in the same direction, no matter if my knee is bent or stretched. If anything here is not really working, maybe just do a few chair poses. Let's just do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk your hands to the top of the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Going for a plank, vinyasa. Low plank, exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Down dog. Are you up for a little bit of a challenge? Different options. Hold your plank. Or if you want a little bit more, elbows in, straight spine, move down. Try to hover to some degree over the floor as you breathe. Whew, it's hard. Bring your knees down, lift up through the tricep muscle. Child's pose, you might sigh out. Catch your breath. Lift up again, come down prone, which means on your belly. Bring your hands down by the side, thumbs pointing in towards your thighs. Long neck, so you won't, when you're doing the exercise and not seeing what you need to see, get your neck up like this, okay? Tuck it in. Reach up the shoulders and chest away from the floor, shoulders up, arms lifted up. Maybe legs as well. Push, like everything kind of lifted up, like your gravity is pulling your feet and your palms up. Breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Stack those hands, forehead on the hands. Turn onto the side of the mat, the side that serves you best to watch the screen. I fold my mat for the sake of my elbow. Side laying here, bottom knee bent to some degree. We're gonna move from this one, lower down the hip and lift the hip up. So the hip is stacked. I'm not moving forward or back. Hip stacked, down and up. Okay. Then you might add, this is not enough. When your hip is up, this rotation in under Lift the arm up towards the sky, lower and lift. You might exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Or just breathe without moving too quick though. For a little bit more, you're welcome to lift this top leg. Well, let's do it 3 times more. No comparison here. And when you're done with the last one, you can do a kind of mermaid stretch. So just keep my legs kind of bent and move to the back end of your mat. Notice if you're okay with the shoulder, we focus so much on our legs and thighs, we might, not gain as much focus on the shoulder there. Almost towards the end, just this one and a little bit of core. Find your side plank, knee bent, lower and lift. Keep just doing that if you're good with that. Keep the alignment, elbow and shoulder. Maybe adding, when your hip is on top, this rotation. We're not doing anything with our hip, that stays. It's a rotation in the middle of your spine. It's always harder on this second side. So I might take 1 or 2 less, but let's see. If you want to lift the top leg, let's just do 3 more. Strong hips. Do you have 1 more in you? Maybe. I feel the burn. Oh, lower down. Bend both knees and move for a slow, nice side stretch. All right. Find a seat. Last thing we're gonna do before wrapping up the class. Of course, boat pose. Bring those shoulders back. Options here. If you have any lower back issues, you might stay here with the feet heels down. Shoulders back, you can always elevate, or you can roll up and down. So not doing too much of this, but when you're rolling down, you want a little bit of a C shape in the lumbar part of your spine, rolling back. And you might roll up on your exhale. Don't let the hands pull you. And you can keep rolling. See if it can do a kind of variation of vertebrae by vertebrae. And you might just breathe extra in between here. Two more. Keep the shoulders back here. I tend to pull up with my shoulders. Chin towards the chest and see if you can roll up. And then when you come up, you can extend the legs to the front and just lean forward. Maybe hold on to your thighs or legs or whatever you can reach. A few stretches. Pigeon pose. If you have any knee issues, pigeon pose for you would be like this. maybe your right ankle on your left thigh, and then come down. I'm not showing you anymore. If I did it too quickly, just pause and go back. That's the beauty of the online class. But if you do traditional pigeon, you would bring your right knee down, or the shin down on the mat, right knee all the way to the right side of the mat. Instead of pulling the leg up, shoot the back leg further back, knee cap there directly on the floor. Maybe you stay on your hands, maybe you come down. Find a somewhat relaxed pose. If you take a look at your hip, notice that the hip bones are aligned with the floor, so you're not leaning in this direction with your hip, right, with the floor or the mat. See if you can deepen your breath. And let's switch to the other side, so you can do a downward facing dog. If you're on your back, you just switch your leg. Same here, come down, left side on the mat, left knee out to the left side of the mat. Shin might be parallel with the short end of the mat. Mine is not. I'm too stiff. My external rotation in my hip is not amazing, which is fine. Find that position or that posture that makes sense. And then you might close your eyes and just listen to 1 Thessalonians here. Paul is writing. And be careful that when you get on each other's nerves, you don't snap at each other. Look for the best in each other. And always do your best to bring it out. Look for the best in each other and always do your best to bring it out. I must admit that I sometimes feel a little bit convicted in my close relationships when it comes to this. It's so easy to see everybody else's faults. So easy not to bring the best out in people around me. Roll onto your left side. If you're on your back, you can take a seat together with me. Find somewhat of a comfortable seat, whatever it looks like. Shoulders up and back. And let's do this neck stretch. So your left hand reaches to your right ear. Not pulling, but a gentle tuck to your left side. Right hand behind you. Sit tall. As most of you know, I'm married, and maybe you are too, or living in a close relationship with a friend or whatnot. We all have close relationships with somebody. And especially those who are the closest to us are also the ones that challenge us the most. Right? They bring out the worst in us sometimes. Let go and switch. And then our sense of fairness or justice, at least in my case, comes alive. And if you make me feel like this, I will make you feel like. And if we're not careful, those patterns can become poisonous. So today I'm reminded to see for the best in people, also those who are close to me, because there is so much good. We just tend to forget it, or I do. Bring your head up, maybe circle your arms. If you want to take a rest, I will take a seated short meditation. You can come down and do your butterfly on the floor, but I'll do it seated here. So variations, sole of the feet together, knees out. You can stay here, or you can wrap your hands, if possible, underneath and hold onto your feet. I like it because it gets me a bit of a stretch in the lower back, in my body at least. So I will finish shortly with a prayer, and I'll invite you to join me, however you can pray, for those that you love and that you sometimes struggle with loving, asking for help or guidance to see the good things in them, and for you and me to be patient to bring those good things out. So take whatever comfortable seat or rest on the floor if you want to. Maybe you want to bring your palms up if you're seated like me. God, I thank you that you have created every single body in your image with so much beauty and goodness, but also flawed, like I am. And I pray, God, for strength and courage and patience to love those that I sometimes feel challenged loving. Maybe you bring one or two people in your mind that you want to pray for right now. So God, help me to see what is the good in them, and help me to bring that out. Help me to serve other people just as you have served me, by showing me love on Easter. As a kind of an amen, you can inhale and sigh out. If you feel like staying on the mat, please just do so. But for me, I will finish. So grateful that you wanted to join me on this video. Let me know what other videos that you appreciate and like. And I hope to see you again back on this channel. And thank you for liking and subscribing. That's helpful.